guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Here we go. So according to some guy on Twitter, I don't even know who this is, man. It set the Twitter streets ablaze, Dave. Ablaze they were.
I'm not shocked by the trade, though. Let me be clear. It makes sense from the standpoint if the new coach wants to have his own quarterback that doesn't believe in Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
And he might like one of the quarterbacks in the draft.
Oh, my God, dude. Okay. That was a clip from the, I believe it's the Panthers Nation podcast, the PNP Panthers podcast. And they were, welcome in. It's Mackey and Judd here. Daily Minnesota sports, entertainment, speculation, therapy. They were reacting to Judd saying on our show, and this thing has spread like wildfire the last, 48 hours, that the Panthers made a phone call. Everyone makes phone calls this time of year. The Panthers picked up the phone. They called the Vikings or texted or whatever and said, hey, our quarterback situation's pretty crappy.
Yep.
What can you do for us? Is there, Sean Mannion? Kirk Cousins?
Right. Yeah. What can you do? How can you help us? How can we help you help us?
Help us.
Yes. What can you do?
My sense in that 30-second clip is Panthers podcasters and fans and reading through social media would not be thrilled if their team traded for Kirk Cousins. But I will say Kirk Cousins is far better than their quarterback situation the last couple of years.
And parsing through some of that video, they agreed with that too. They said he's better than Sam Darnold. He's better than Teddy. He's better than a good amount of quarterbacks.
Get you to 9 wins. Win that crappy division without Sean Payton and Tom Brady.
Which you need to do probably.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to read you guys some of the feedback that Judd has been getting on the internet here. So again, Pro Football Talk, Yahoo, a bunch of others have picked up Judd's nugget on Purple Daily that the Panthers have, everyone's putting feeler calls out. Panthers are putting a feeler call out to the Vikings about Kirk Cousins. John Doyle on Twitter says Judd is a liar.
Yeah, John didn't like me.
Pokemon Xisms 97 on Twitter says, don't trust Judd. He works for Score North, which is infamous for hating Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. Yep. That's us. That's us. We've got a reputation. We have to uphold that. No question about it.
Mitch Tellers on YouTube says, sources. Okay. Sources equal, quote, don't trust. Sources equal, dude, just trust me. Apparently, none of you learned anything from the Jim Harbaugh saga.
Yeah, which, by the way,
that was very real.
Which happened. He just didn't get the job.
Yeah, he literally was in the building for 8 hours.
Yeah, there's some
that happened.
There's explanation that needs to be done off this, but I digress because I'd like you to continue.
I got one more for now. This is up for discussion on Twitter. We don't know the Panthers call. Judd is outspoken about his Kirk hate. This could easily be a whisper wire BS situation that he used Adam Patrick, Vikings blogger, to push. Two idiots working together to try to drum up controversy.
Yep. Adam Patrick, who I don't think I've ever talked to in my life, but I am using him. I decided, I handpicked him. I woke up and said, who can help me get Kirk Cousins out of town? Let's see.
Mike Florio? No.
No. Let's see.
Adam Schefter? Tom Pelissero, good friends with Tom Pelissero.
Tommy? No, not him.
Kevin Seifert, longtime colleague, ESPN platform. No, not him.
Star Tribune, Ben Gessling, perhaps? No, I don't like that one idea. Who? Oh, I know. Adam Patrick.
Yeah, and I love Adam Patrick. Don't get me wrong, but
no.
Come on now.
But I've never.
Speculation.
I could safely say I don't believe I've ever talked to him in my life. He might be the greatest guy on the face of the earth. But
you guys should get beers at Surly.
I did
sometime.
not. No, because if we're spotted together at Surly, the conspiracy would be on. Believe me, I am convinced the Crusaders now have an eye on me. They know where I live. They know my every move, and they're going to get me hanging out with Adam Patrick at the convenience store someday. They're going to say, yeah, we got him.
I've been getting weird DMs over the last probably 2 or 3 weeks, and I can't. I think they're burner account. They are burner accounts. Like it's sort of, anonymous avatar, anonymous Twitter handle, and like here's one from Sunday night, late Sunday night. Yo, bitch, you got beef with Kirk Cousins? You should be ashamed of yourself. That bleep ain't right. From just like a burner account. I literally get I get direct messages like this multiple days a week on Twitter.
Really?
There's like an underground network of pro Kirk Cousins burner Twitter accounts that are just sending out little propaganda. It's so weird.
So your DMs are open then?
Absolutely.
Because like mine aren't. So like I don't have to be concerned for the most part about that. But
I am a man of the people, and I will keep my DMs open.
So am I.
Yeah.
You know what?
A couple times.
At Jay Zolgad. I check my replies all the time, but you're not getting into my DMs. No. Those DMs are saved for more important things.
This is a great one. I mean, I got to give this guy credit. He slides into my DMs and says, yo, bitch, you got beef with Kirk Cousins? You should be ashamed of yourself. That bleep ain't right. And I said, what? I can't have an opinion? He goes, you can't have any Kirk Cousins opinions. You're biased. And I said, well, we're all biased. Oh, we all have biases.
By the way, it's football opinions. Yes, you can have opinions. It's football opinions. You are in no way, shape, or form passing judgment on the guy outside the locker room or field. It's your. In fact, I would argue Phil Mackey is well compensated by the Hubbards to have opinions about Kirk Cousins.
We need T-shirts that say,
can you imagine?
Yo, bitch, you got beef with Cousins.
That is a great. You know what? I actually love that one. I would wear it. That's a great idea.
I'm gonna put that out on my public feed. So I feel like we're less than 4 weeks away. We're like basically 3 weeks away from the league year starting here, the second week in March. And this type of thing, whether Judd catches steam or other people, especially if Rodgers either retires or goes back to the Packers, and he had that weird Instagram post last night. But now sportsbooks are saying basically retirement or going back to the Packers are the two most likely things, and either of those things takes a huge quarterback off the board. There's going to be more Kirk Cousins steam and trade reports until that contract gets finalized or not, right? So it is our duty and obligation on this show to at least explore all of the teams that pop up in conversation, right?
Reckless speculation.
So the Panthers are the team. The Panthers have said, all right, so Matt Rule's on the hot seat. We've gone 5-11 or 5-12 each of the last 3 seasons. But Christian McCaffrey, if we hang on to him, if he can stay healthy, we kind of feel like we got something here in a division that just lost Sean Payton and Tom Brady. So, and the Falcons have just been kind of a mess, salary cap hell. Matt Ryan keeps getting older and more expensive. So, if the Panthers can just add somebody better than Sam Darnold or old Cam Newton at that position, it makes a lot of sense that the Panthers would want some sort of established upgrade at quarterback. They could also draft someone with the 6th overall pick. But if I'm Matt Rule, you draft a rookie quarterback, you are getting fired.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And I don't think that there is a clear-cut QB in this draft that you can trust.
Yeah,
you might develop one. He might be great. But if your job is hanging in the balance for 2022 and you're like, we are going to draft this guy. We're going to draft Kenny Pickett. Good luck to you.
The next coach will be the one that gets to develop Kenny Pickett in year 2 then. You are fired. So it all makes a ton of sense. I think the teams that are like the Browns we've had conversations about, but the Panthers sliding into the Vikings DMs makes all the sense in the world until you start to get into what a trade could look like. And per your reporting, the conversation didn't really go. We're also like 3 weeks before any sort of real deadline.
I'd like to parse this through first, though. To be clear, I was told what I've been told is the Panthers called the Vikings, and as I said, it has been quoted, which is weird to see. The Vikings said at the very least, paraphrasing, not now. So there was never there was this weird leap in the reaction to my report that the Vikings were like, oh yeah, what's it going to take? What's it going to take? No, the Panthers called. Keep in mind, I am not tracing what the Carolina Panthers did with the rest of the teams with available quarterbacks in the National Football League. My guess, they called a few teams.
Yeah.
So just to be very, very clear, and I saw that there were some people on Twitter who made the distinction. Distinction one is there's calls made all the time. I happen to get wind of this call, which, because it involves Kirk, is intriguing. But that far from means that a deal is being done. Now, it would be irresponsible of the Vikings not to listen. I will say that. And the second distinction that's very important is we do Vikings related content here, okay? Which means that we are paid to give opinions, which is awesome. It's fun. That being said, and I think that there's a lot of people who watch our show who are very smart. So I'm almost probably not talking to a bunch of you out there, but it feels like when the reports get thrown out on Twitter, it does change. It's our job to give opinions, but when we find out information, I've done this, Phil has as well. We pass the information along and then give an opinion about that. And so the opinion is not part of the report. So there seems to be this step of, well, Judd said that there was a call, and then he said that he would potentially listen. So the report must be wrong. Very important distinction. Let's cut the piece of pie in half. Piece of pie one, the report. That is what we have gleaned, learned. Phil has done the same thing. The second piece of pie is, okay, now as commentators, which is what we are as well, we're paid to react to what we just said. So like if I came on and pulled a Shefty and I said, Phil,
my sources,
I am hearing from my sources that the Carolina Panthers have made a call to the Vikings about Kirk. And Phil said, oh boy, Judd, here's my 2 cents. What do you think? And I said, well, Kirk Cousins, good quarterback. But I can't say more because I'm trusting, because I can't alienate people, which is what Shefty can't do. That ain't my job. So please be aware of the distinction of here's what I heard. And now here is the entire show's reaction, which is not reporting. It is commentary.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Is that fair?
That's a little school for everyone out there from a
like
former lead Vikings beat writer and now one of the lead Vikings commentators over the last 10 years.
And I don't mean to be, and I'm not trying to be, in all sincerity, condescending to our people, but I feel like it crosses a line with a lot of folks are like, well, how can Judd report something and then comment? So I'm just trying to make it clear.
Maybe in a world now where everything gets kind of muddled together, right? Somebody will report something and then it'll spin off because everyone's got an opinion on it. Maybe we need to be more clear about when we're going from Big J journalism land into potentially reckless speculation land into opinion land. You know, there's like 3 different pastures of discussions here. So Big J journalism land, where Judd has cut his teeth over the course of his career on the newspaper side, is, well, you caught wind of a little conversation that was happening. And as you said, it's one of many conversations that probably happened. And the Vikings in this moment said, well, whatever. We're good.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're going to move from that pasture to the next pasture, which is I, Phil Mackey, Vikings entertainer extraordinaire here, would like to, on behalf of just our show, Mackey and Judd, flesh out what a Panthers-Vikings trade could look like.
Okay, yeah, right. So this is not a report about what a trade, like this was not discussed. We are now going to.
Oh, maybe it was. I mean, who knows?
I don't know.
Right, but we're not reporting that it was discussed.
No, this is going to be discussed on our show right now.
I love it.
Okay? All right.
Okay. I'm gonna
I like how we're
get some music.
Okay.
giving this up.
Okay.
If there's music, it's just reckless.
Yeah.
So here is I am not reporting this, but here is what I think probably happened on this phone call. Panthers call. Vikings pick up. Hey, we're desperate. We're about to fire our coach. And we think the division's wide open. We need someone better than Sam Darnold. Do you have anyone? Vikings say, well, I mean, we've got Kirk Cousins. We still haven't figured out a new contract for him. And the Panthers say, cool, okay. So we don't have a second or a third round pick. We have the 6th overall pick, but that's probably a little steep for the 13th best quarterback in the NFL with a bloated contract that we have to figure out. Let's see, what's the next pick available for us? How about the 4th round pick? What if we gave you a 4th round pick for Kirk Cousins? And the Vikings are like, I don't know. if we're gonna make the decision to trade him, again, this is my own. I am not reporting this. This is my own interpretation of what may have happened on the phone call.
Right.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, I mean, maybe they'd give us something more. The Broncos, a 4th-round pick. Listen, guys, thanks for the phone call, but if you want to give us the 6th overall pick, we'll hang on the line for another 15 minutes and talk about this. Yep. That's what makes it really hard for a Carolina-Minnesota trade, the lack of 2022 draft assets. Now, could the Panthers say, well, what about 2023? And admittedly, I don't have that pulled up, but like, we can give you. Let me pull it up. Do they have a 1st and a 2nd round pick in 2023?
That I do not know. I did look up their draft for this season, but I did not look up. I'm guessing they do.
Future draft picks.
I think they have 2nd and 3rd round picks.
They have 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Yeah, they have the full slate.
Like it.
Yeah, they have the full slate. So they could say, well, we have a 2023 2nd round pick we could throw in here. So I guess what I'm saying is, the 6th, if the Panthers at any point were to offer the 6th overall pick for Kirk Cousins, you freaking run to the commissioner's office.
Or you're fired.
Yeah.
Crazy, we love you.
Rick Spielman's coming back.
Great job, but you're fired.
But if they don't have a 2nd or a 3rd, if they're offering a 4th, that conversation's over pretty quickly. I'm gonna talk to other teams if I'm that interested in trading Kirk Cousins. That's my thought.
Okay, so here's mine. And to be clear, this is not a report. It's the thoughts from the mind, the very freakish and scary mind of Judd Zolgad. I think that there's 3 things to keep in mind about a potential Kirk trade, probably anywhere. And one is this: Aaron Rodgers.
I saw the text that Declan just sent us. We'll get to it in 5 minutes, but it's amazing.
Cool. Aaron Rodgers, number 1. And there is time to allow this to play out. You need to see what he is going to do, because if he retires and or stays put, and he did say that he was going to make up his mind quickly, and we are now to quickly. So we could find out today. It changes the conversations, because now the best quarterback who was assumed by a lot of teams, I think, to be available is not. So one is, if I am the Vikings, I have to see what happens with the Packers QB, because if he goes away, the offers to me obviously could become much more lucrative.
Yep.
The second thing is this: are you willing to? And the answer from me as an opinion would be yes, I would be. Are you willing to pick up some of Cousins' salary and thus his cap hit for 2022 to help me? Because I'm going to give you a better package of compensation if you are going to pay the freight. And so if Kirk if Kirk gets traded to my team and says, hey, hold on a second, I never said I would do a contract extension, but the Vikings say, well, that's no problem, we will pay some of his contract. Now I say, okay, cool, Cousins helps me immediately, I deem that my team can win, I will give you more because the significant strain on my cap goes down because the Vikings are helping me.
Mm-hmm.
Third thing is this one, which I think is an underrated, interesting angle. It's the 2023 draft. If you tell me, you know what, the 6th pick, I can't do that. I'm sorry, guys. I can't. But I, as the Carolina Panthers, will give you my 1st round pick in 2023, which, by the way, I am hoping is way below 6. And I'm the Vikings. I say, oh, okay, let's keep talking because of this. Think about the quarterback draft. 2022, it's very possible that the Vikings are going to say, you know, that it's sort of desperate, hard pass there. But 2023, it's on. If you go into the 2023 draft with your own 1st rounder, Carolina's 1st round pick, I am suddenly putting myself in a really good position to, guess what, jump up like San Francisco did to get Trey Lance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all of these things as analysis and opinion, I think, are very important equations in any possible Kirk Cousins trades to.
Yep. All right, let's add this interesting piece of.
Reckless.
Well, hold on. I'll get to this is a PFF article speculating on trades that Declan just texted us. Let me go back for a second here. So I like where you're going with this, and that the 2023 quarterback draft is much more loaded And if you had a couple first-round picks in that draft, it gives you ammunition to move up, and maybe you can move. And the other factor is, though, if you trade Kirk Cousins for a 2023 first-round pick, it is your obligation to be as bad as you possibly can in 2022. I don't know what the point would be of trying to win 7, 8, 9 games, and I am not necessarily in the all-in tanking category. I think there's a way to do this kind of the way the Eagles did.
I'd like to get back to yes. I love that comment.
So if it's a 2022 first-round pick, okay, maybe I can go grab Malik Willis or somebody if they want to give the 6th overall pick, which, again, seems kind of crazy to me. Like, the Panthers would just have no picks in the first 3 rounds, but they would have Kirk Cousins and adding him to a 5-win team. But this is Kirk Cousins, if you are a 5-win team, is a great quarterback for you because he will help you get to 8, 9, 10 wins and probably win a crappy division without Sean Payton, without Tom Brady. But like we've said, if you're a 9, 10, or 13-win team, which the Vikings were when they acquired Kirk Cousins, he is a gravitational pull right back to 8, 9, or 10 wins. So I'm just curious, like if this conversation were to progress again at some point, and the Panthers said, we can't do the 6th overall pick, so I guess we have to look into 2023 for draft capital because we don't have a 2nd or a 3rd-round pick to offer you, then it would make sense for the Vikings to put themselves in a great position to draft high in 2023. I am not an advocate for all-out tanking in 2022 because I think this team can still be competitive and retool on the fly.
Yes.
But maybe that's the way that best sets you up for 2023. Maybe Kellen Mond's your starting quarterback. Throw him to the Wolves. Go have fun, kid. I don't know.
I don't think that is the plan, but I do think this. Kirk Cousins, I can unequivocally, with opinion-based facts, say Kirk Cousins is not a person that I want as part of my supposed new culture. My new culture is important here. This is very important. And I think the tanking thing, we need to quit saying that. It's a reset. You're resetting the franchise from the top on down, too. The GM is gone. The coach is gone. The quarterback's the next guy. Mm-hmm. And here's what I believe would be completely fair. First of all, in my opinion, if you have 2 first-round picks, you now have the collateral to take those 2 picks and potentially with 2 more picks, get up to like the top 3. It's very possible. So I don't think that you have to have an eye on being terrible. But more importantly, if you get a bridge quarterback and it's a guy that O'Connell likes, that the team likes, that the team respects, hey, it's a gritty guy who's going to come in here, I think that you can easily pursue the 7th seed, which by the way would be an accomplishment. Mm-hmm. And so if you have 2 first-round picks, I don't think it needs to be one is the 7th pick and one is the 10th pick. If you have a pick in the 20s and a pick in the teens, you still have the foundation of a potential trade with the right pieces to go very high. So I don't think that there's any requirement that this team tanks. And I would argue that resetting the culture, and I mean with the coach, GM, and quarterback, that would give you an opportunity to have a really nice pop-up fun year in which people have, and this is the most important thing, fun again. Like people are like, if Kirk doesn't come back, they're going to stink and Jefferson is going to be mad. First of all, he's already mad. Second of all, these guys had no fun. And I know it's pro sports and fun is not the requirement, but it sure as hell helps, right?
Yes.
So I think we need to go away from, well, they'd suck and it's tanking. First of all, I have said this for a long time. In this league, you can't tank. You could try, but it's very hard. Second of all, it's a reset. And when you're going to reset the entire culture of your franchise, and you've gone after the GM and coach, the quarterback is the next most important guy. Mm-hmm. No question about it. And nobody had fun. That's on Mike. Yes. That's also on Kirk.
No.
You can't grind your teeth
well,
and have fun.
Nothing's Kirk's fault.
You can't grind your teeth. And
what about the defense? What about the offensive line? What about
they had no fun too. I'm going to reset them as well. Gone as well.
What's Kirk supposed to do? Mike Zimmer wouldn't let him have fun. Wouldn't let him lead. Got his thumb on him.
All right.
That was it. All right.
Reckless.
The Twitter timeline right now too, as we're updating, is just Vikings Twitter is all over this.
This PFF article.
the PFF article, just Kirk the idea of Kirk to the Panthers, people are just absolutely, my Twitter tweet deck timeline is filled with ideas.
Pro Football Talk picked this up, and from past experiences, once PFT picks up a report, it's on. Like, it's going to, your timelines are going to be just constantly scrolling the rest of the day.
So, Pro Football Focus, PFF Brad, I believe. Yeah, yes. Brad Spielberger. And I believe PFF Brad actually did some work. He may have actually worked for the Vikings as like an intern at one point. I'm like 70% sure on that.
I think that is accurate.
I'm not reporting it.
He broke something, right? Yeah, don't report it, God forbid. He broke something about the Vikings in season, right?
I think he did.
I thought he had some type of report.
He's connected. He's a connected guy.
He's connected.
Yeah. So this article has several quarterback trades. And there is a Kirk Cousins one in here, and it's very interesting. So he's got Seahawks trade Russell Wilson to the Eagles. Eagles would send first-round picks in 2022 and 23, and a 2022 third-round pick. Seahawks would have to eat like $26 million in dead money, but then Russell Wilson would be the Eagles quarterback. That'd be kind of fun, actually. Russell Wilson in Philadelphia. The Niners trading Garoppolo to the Commanders for a second and a fourth, a second next year and a fourth this year. It's interesting. Packers trading Rodgers to the Broncos for 2 first-round picks this year, next year, and then 2 second-round picks this year, next year. And then we get to this one. There's a Derek Carr one here to the Steelers too. I don't think Carr's going anywhere.
Yep.
Minnesota Vikings trade Kirk Cousins to the Carolina Panthers. The terms: the 6th overall pick in this year's draft and a second-round pick in 2023.
If this is on the table, you hit send, accept.
How is this a thing?
I can't.
How is this a thing?
And I never said
Are
this.
You serious?
I never said this, by the way. Don't come after me. I never said this. I said there was a phone call. The phone call, Jerry. The phone call.
Accept.
I mean, again, this is a PFF. This is not a report. This is PFF just kind of speculating.
Right.
But these are smart, plugged-in people. And I'm not. And when I say
you're
smart,
right.
plugged in, when I say smart, plugged in, I don't mean that he thinks that this trade's going to happen. I'm saying the value of the trade. This is a smart, plugged-in person.
Yeah, good point.
Who is saying that the value in a trade involving Kirk Cousins to the Panthers could be worth the 6th overall pick and another pick in 2023? Are you kidding me? If that's true, if the Carolina Panthers want to give the 6th overall pick to the Vikings for a $45 million contract for a 34-year-old average starting quarterback, like, yes, please make this happen.
But I honestly can't believe that. I can believe that Kirk would get you a first-round pick back. I cannot believe he would get you a top 6 pick back.
I mean, you could literally get.
I can't wrap my head around that one.
So many things you could get with it. You don't even have to draft a quarterback. You could get an edge rusher, dude. Thibodeau could fall to 6, or you could trade up. You could get. Oh my God.
Right, because you've got 6 and 12 then.
Yes, you'd have the ammo to trade up to 2 if you wanted to.
Yeah.
If you wanted Aiden Hutchinson, I mean, the Lions are probably drafting, but. So here's the write-up. The Panthers have made a lot of changes already this offseason, most notably the hiring of Ben McAdoo to serve as the next offensive coordinator. McAdoo is remembered for his struggles as a head coach, but when he served as the Giants' OC, they were pretty darn good. Bunch of stats in here that I won't bore you with. They're kind of comparing McAdoo's work with Eli Manning in his mid-30s in this article, and the work that McAdoo got out of Gardner Minshew as well in 2020. So they're saying that McAdoo and Matt Rule could do some stuff with Kirk Cousins for the 6th overall pick.
I told you guys, I think we discussed this on Friday's show. I did say that I think the Panthers are desperate enough and perhaps stupid enough to do something that makes no sense. And I don't think that you could say that about a lot of teams, right? Like, I don't think the Broncos want to upgrade, but I don't think they're stupid. And I don't think that they're desperate here. But Matt Rule is going to be desperate. And I think that he is. And if you've got this, take advantage. I believe Matt Rule, true American meathead. So, like, if you've got that, take advantage, man.
Is he?
I think he's a meathead. I think he's a meathead. Yes,
that's a great insult too. We always talk about buffoon.
Archie Bunker, baby.
Meathead's a great one. Meathead.
Archie Bunker used
My
it.
dad called me a meathead a lot.
Yes, but I mean, Matt Rule strikes me meathead. Joe
I feel
Judge,
like you have to be chubby to be a meathead, though, don't you?
I think
I wouldn't view Declan as a meathead.
Yeah, Declan, I wouldn't. Matt Rule, I'm not saying he's chubby, but I think that he is round enough that he would qualify. Joe Judge, meathead. Declan, yeah, I don't feel. There's a lot of terms, but not meathead for Declan.
Yeah. Do you guys have any final thoughts on this whole
Reckless speculation.
this whole thing?
I said there was a phone call. Just remember that. Phone called.
Dude, it's hilarious. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's any other updates here, but no, it's pretty.
Yahoo Sports picked it up. PFT picked it up.
Yeah, PFT only picked it up because Yahoo did.
Okay.
Combine begins officially a week from today.
Yeah.
So if you think that the rumors and scuttlebutt and reckless speculation is bad now, a week from today, Indianapolis, a lot of drinks, big tabs at great places like St. Elmo's. You just wait. A week from now, it's going to be. If you don't like reckless speculation, and if you don't, who are you? Take next week off.
Deck, let's pivot here. We'll do random season recall, but we'll do it at the end.